Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Look at that. It's 4 o'clock. Time to start the 4 to 5. I'm Eric Chilton on the other side of the glass. Yeah, that's Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman over there.
Hey, Eric. Probably feels like a Monday for most folks like Chad, who had the day off yesterday.
It was nice. Thank you for working in place of me. I do appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be paying each other back throughout the summer, or throughout what's left of the summer. We're going to talk about the forecast and the beautiful weather that will be headed our way in just a minute. But first, the big story of the day. Mount Tabor students are headed back home today after the first day back since last week's deadly shooting.
I personally want to applaud the parents as well as the students for getting up and coming back, having the strength and tenacity to come back, to not let fear intimidate us from keeping our kids from attaining their dreams and their education.
Emotions were still running high as students arrived early this morning, greeted by extra police officers and deputies.
They want to make students and staff feel safe. WFMY News 2's Avery Powell is live with reaction from families.
Scary and stressful. That's how parents I spoke with today describe sending their kids back to the classroom here at Mount Tabor High School nearly a week after a shooting left a student dead. But those parents also tell me the community support has been overwhelming. You can see in this video signs surrounding the school supporting students as they've returned today, and parents even took it upon themselves to put out signs of support in their front lawns. One of those parents is Mary Beth Barrett. She tells me that she reassured her son that it was okay to talk with someone, whether that be a friend or a professional, about how he's feeling since the shooting.
Yes, we've had conversations all weekend long. You know, it's okay to be scared. It's normal to be scared. It's, you know, I put a note in his lunchbox today that said, "I love you. Be extra kind to your teachers today."
Students have been out of school since last Thursday, and parent Dottie Shepard tells me it was time for her daughter to get some R&R.
We tried not to dwell on it too much. We just stayed really busy. She stayed really busy, spent a lot of time with her friends. She didn't want to get out and about on Thursday. And then once she did get out, she just found that just kind of trying to act normal and being around friends was more comforting to her than anything else.
And Shepard said she texted her daughter this morning, and her dad was even waiting for her to greet her at the school. Both Shepard and Barrett did tell me one thing, that the community will need to support these students going forward in the future. I'll have more on that coming up at 5.
Avery, thank you. As students showed up to school this morning, they were greeted by a whole lot of signs to make them feel welcome. Students, staff, and family members painted the signs yesterday. English teacher Jen Clearly even brought her young daughter to help. Students say it just gives meaning to the phrase Spartan Strong.
It means family and community and staying strong in hard times and being there for one another.
The district is offering counseling services to anyone who needs it, and it's working with families still struggling.
There are still unknowns when it comes to the investigation into the shooting. Officials have not yet released the suspect's name, only saying it's a juvenile who was also a student at Mount Tabor High School. Today, both the Forsyth County District Attorney and Forsyth County Sheriff said there are no new updates on the suspect or the motive of the shooting. And of course, we'll continue following the case and bring you the latest updates on WFMYnews2.com and our free News 2 app.
All right, time now for your 4 to 5 roundup. First up, Greensboro police say a driver was hit and killed after a fiery crash on I-40 last night. Investigators say the driver hit the guardrail just past Sandy Ridge Road and flipped. The car burst into flames, but the driver was able to get out. Police say that driver then walked onto I-40 where they were hit and killed by another car. The other driver involved has not been charged. State troopers are asking for your help as they investigate a deadly hit and run. Investigators say a driver hit someone walking on Highway 29 near Bassett Drive and took off. 50-year-old Miranda Williams died. Troopers are looking for an older model Chevy van, possibly a 1985 to 1991 model with left headlight damage. Expect rough waters along the Carolina coast if you're heading to the beach over the coming days. The National Hurricane Center says there's a higher risk for rip currents as Hurricane Larry moves up the coast. Now, the storm isn't expected to hit here, but they are worried about deadly rip currents. Every year, more than 100 people die in rip currents in the U.S. All right, no major impacts here from Hurricane Larry, fortunately, but hot and humid weather still coming back. Chilton.
Yeah, it is, and a chance of possibly the thunderstorms tomorrow. We'll watch that to see if it gets a little bit rough. That is not the case today. We look at our quad cam here. All of our sky cams in the major metros looking really good. Just a couple of clouds here and there. That's all we see. Temperatures are cooperating as well. Yeah, this is about normal for us. Mid-80s is normal. We're starting that trek down, though, as we watch the normals drop down. We're rounding the corner, aren't we, and heading into fall. But 83 in Greensboro, 85 Winston-Salem, Walnut Cove at 86, Mount Airy you have 81, and Burlington at 86 also. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies. You've got that milder overnight low as we see some of the cloud cover build into the 60s. And then late day thunderstorms. Might see a severe thunderstorm here or there. We're not talking about tornado weather necessarily at this point. It looks like just heavier thunderstorms, but they'll be isolated and widespread, but 85 for the daytime high. So when you look at the radar, overall, we're clear for now. This is the front that will work its way south, and most of the energy with this for now is up to the north, but watch on the map. And as it gets closer to us, you'll start to see some of the thunderstorms building out ahead of the front, and then we'll stop it here. This is about this time, actually, during the show tomorrow. We could see some heavier thunderstorm activity. Better weather back behind it. We'll have our 7-day coming up in a bit.
Get your taste buds ready. Chow Downtown is back again for another year in Greensboro. Chow Downtown is Downtown Greensboro Inc.'s annual restaurant week. Next week, September 13th through the 19th, the public is encouraged to try various local eateries and food establishments. More than 15 old and new restaurants will participate. Bourbon Bowl, Union Coffee, and Crafted Taco are just to name a few.
All of the restaurants that are involved they might have special menu items, they might have special discounts to really showcase what they have.
Last year, due to COVID-19, participating restaurants mainly did takeout orders. This year, restaurants will offer dine-in, takeout, and outdoor seating options. Organizers say small businesses need help now more than ever.
These are mom and pop stores. They're putting love in every bite that you can get. And, you know, it's important to support our friends, our neighbors, and these hardworking folks that are just trying to survive through this COVID and provide a unique tasting opportunity that Greensboro is.
For a list of participating restaurants, just look for this story on our website. And it is a great list, guys. They have a little bit of everything. They have breweries, bakeries, pizza places, taco places. Really, really good stuff.
So just pick one like every day of the week and go check it out. I love that they're making sure that they're offering to go and take out options as well for people who just don't feel comfortable going to restaurants.
And more than half on that list actually have outdoor seating options. And with the weather, great thing for this week.
You had me at Crafted. You can just stop there. I love their food. And I think you're right, Chad, but instead of every day, why don't we just do every hour and we'll just do like appetizers at each one.
And this is on your dime, right? You're going to cover us every hour?
Hold on, I got to go.
As long as it's just the three of us, right? As soon as you start including everybody else, that's when the bill can get kind of high
That's
there.
right. Well, for my family, since there's 800 of us.
That's true.
Every time we go out, it's like over $100. So, yeah.
Don't envy you there. All right, we'll be right back. We're on Facebook. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I bet you had no idea that we were on Facebook.
Yeah, come join us.
Come check us out. We'll be right back.
You know, a true musician's really hard to find, but you know when you hear that one person play their instrument out somewhere and you think it's just a matter of time before they get a break. Well, that's what people in Asheboro say about Trent Calicut when he plays his banjo. I caught up with him today, fresh off the heels of playing the Grand Ole Opry. Take a look.
All the way from Asheboro, North Carolina, making his debut is Trent Calicut. Right there.
Hey Trent, thanks for being with us today. Man, this is, so my sister tried to play the banjo a long time ago. It is not an easy instrument to play. How did you get started with this?
Well, I was 12 years old and I was playing baseball at the time, and I got interested in music through my pawpaw. That was my mom's dad. And I just thought, man, that would be a whole lot funner than playing ball. And so anyway, I didn't make the little league team, so I told my parents, if I don't make that, I want to go get some banjo lessons. And sure enough, that's what I did. I started when I was 12 years old in June of 2001.
Then you've been playing a long time. Obviously you're very good, because this news of you playing the Opry is huge. Tell me what you felt like when you first got that call.
Well, I'd always wanted to play the Grand Ole Opry, and for my family, we've always listened and watched the Opry, and man, I couldn't believe it. It just really took me off guard. And when Darren shot me a message and said, "Hey man, are you busy Saturday?" and I told him, I said, well, you know, my wife and I had just moved in to our new home we've had built, and he said, well, I was wanting to see if you could play the Opry. I said, well, I think I can change my plans for that. So it floored me. It really did.
So jamming to the music. He can play.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was
he's
really
good.
impressive.
All right, so the next half hour we're going to get more personal with Trent, because his relationship with his grandfather is what started him on music, and he said that was kind of their bonding thing. And the grandfather, he didn't live long enough to see him play the Opry.
Wow.
So, but he used his grandfather and what he thought about his grandfather being there with him as inspiration to calm him down. It's really an interesting story, so that's coming up in a little bit. Chad, can you play a banjo like that?
No, I can't, but I do enjoy listening to a banjo, and boy, would
Me
I
too.
enjoy listening to it at the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, that's such a cool experience, and I love that they gave Asheboro a shout out there too.
I think that's so cool about this story is like the banjo, you know, when you hear about kids learning how to play piano or maybe like the violin, but you don't really hear about the banjo. And so I'm looking forward to see the next part of your story, to see how he was inspired by his grandfather.
Yeah, they were extremely close, and he allowed us to kind of get personal and talk about that relationship. So it's a good thing, a good thing. And of course, we'll have that coming up in just a little bit. Stick around.
I'm ready to roll. Mic check, Jalen. Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How do you sound? How do I sound? Let me know what you think. All right. Yes, sir. I hear you, brother. Thank you. My mic is still.
You know, not too uncomfortable out here. I mean, even in the suit, not bad. You know that we're making that turn, right? When you can say that you're outside in the weather garden at this time of the day in a suit, and it's not too bad. Yeah, cloud cover, we've got a few clouds here or there. That's going to be the case as we head into the night. Partly cloudy, really just the best way to call it, but nothing in the way of rain right now. We'll go out to a wider shot because I want to show you this front. We mentioned this a little while ago, but that's the beginnings of the front that will dip back down to the south and bring us the rain chance for Wednesday. And actually, there's a decent chance of a storm probably Wednesday afternoon and evening. You look at that timestamp here, and we're stopping you at about this time tomorrow. So that front moves by, got a chance of maybe a severe thunderstorm or two, not super widespread, but something that we'll watch. And then it's beautiful after that as we head into Thursday and Friday, and really through our weekend. It looks pretty comfortable there with decent conditions. Futurecast, just looking at those showers, you kind of get the idea. Here's the front back here. We'll pause it here for a moment, but you can see all that shower activity developing on the other side of the mountains, and then the front will come by and sweep all this away and take it out to the east. Now, there is a coastal low that may develop, but we don't think that'll be an issue for us. It may be along our coastal sections and coastal South Carolina. They'll see some thunderstorm activity from that, but not us. Quick look at Larry. Of course, this one just stays out in the middle of nowhere, except for Bermuda. They may have to deal with that, and the forecast models now taking that to about a category 2, so a lot less severe than once thought. Here's our 7-day outlook with 85 tomorrow, and we have that chance of late day showers and storms. Slight chance Thursday, but really I think we end up having a decent day. 81 and 82. Boy, Friday's nice. Sunny and 82. Your weekend, mid-80s Saturday, Sunday, still all clear, no mention of rain. Same story Monday, Tuesday, and a little warmer at 87. To a field and broke his leg.
This week marks a somber date in our nation's history, 20 years since the deadly 9/11 terror attacks.
Thousands died that day, and our nation was forever changed. A Triad family also lost a loved one that day, a mother, a wife, and a daughter.
WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey takes a closer look at how the life of Sandy Bradshaw, a flight attendant on Flight 93, is still being remembered today. Jalen.
Well, nearly 20 years ago, the name Sandy Bradshaw was forever etched onto the hearts of the people of the Triad. She died September 11th, 2001, serving as a flight attendant on United Airlines Flight 93. That's the flight where passengers stood up to hijackers and eventually took the plane down into a field in rural Pennsylvania. Today, in order to commemorate the 20-year mark of September 11th, the Randolph County Sheriff's Office made sure the people from her community remember Sandy's name.
We have put decals on the hoods of 2 of our patrol cars and on the back glass of one of our special vehicles, and also honored Sandy specifically on the door panels of the vehicles.
These decals will be on multiple Randolph County Sheriff's vehicles until the end of the year.
Well, those that knew Sandy and know of Sandy, we hope that it will remind them of 9/11 and what our country has been through, the way that we united after 9/11 happened. For those that don't know Sandy Bradshaw, we hope that they'll look up who Sandy Bradshaw is and realize that 9/11 was personal for everyone. And Sandy Bradshaw, being on that plane, made it personal for Randolph County.
Even Sandy's mother was there to see the new decals and to honor her daughter's legacy.
Hopefully people will remember everyone that day. I'm still amazed that I run into people in North Carolina that have no idea that someone that lived in North Carolina died that day. That's just kind of amazing to me. You would think they would have heard it on the news, at least locally. It's very special, and I'm, very pleased and honored that the county would do this. So.
Mrs. Wall wanted to make sure to share this message with you all at home, that although the pain of losing a child never goes away, she wants to make sure that all the lives lost during this moment in history are remembered forever.
Every year we pay tribute to those who lost their lives, and we do have some video that shows a memorial service held at the Pentagon in 2002, 1 year after the attacks.
American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the heart of the military on 9/11. Some people inside the building that day are now honoring the legacy of those who died.
You had basically every type of emergency vehicle and the sirens from that, and then on top of that, just a really acrid smell from the burning jet fuel. And to be honest, most of my memories are a little bit fragmented because I was only 3 years old at the time.
Second Lieutenant Hannah Bourne's memories of September 11, 2001 may be fragmented, but the impact lasting. She and her infant sister Heather were inside the Pentagon Daycare Center at the time of the attack.
Service members showed up at the door and started loading infants into cribs and then just carried the cribs like half a mile to the river.
Her mother, now retired Brigadier General Dana Bourne, was serving at Bolling Air Force Base at the time.
Our world changed. And it took us a while to realize that, I think, after 9/11, that there's no going back.
As a child, Hannah drew pictures of what she experienced following the attack and instinctively comforted her sister when her dad brought her to a spot near the Pentagon to try and explain what happened. Both daughters now committed to military service themselves. Lieutenant Bourne with the Air Force, Midshipman Heather Bourne currently at the Naval Academy.
The biggest takeaways that my sister and I have just been from witnessing firsthand how people show up every day and commit themselves to a larger purpose.
Lieutenant Bourne, who is completing a graduate program at Georgetown University this year, hopes to one day fly rescue missions.
What is it about rescue missions?
I don't know, there's probably something innate there about just the gratitude that my sister and I and my family have for the service members who had the awareness to come help rescue us.
Lieutenant Bourne says every 9/11, she and her sister reflect on what they can do to honor the legacy of the lives lost and the sacrifices made over the past 20 years. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
And what a great way to honor the legacy of the lives that were lost that day. It's been 20 years, and seeing the littlest survivors or loved ones of survivors now coming up through the ranks, joining the military because of what they saw that day, what they experienced, and how they wanted to give back.
Absolutely, and it's something that will stick with us forever, whether we were little or in middle school or high school, college, whatever. But do you remember what you were doing that day?
I do. It was my freshman year of college. It was my first week of school, and I had just gotten into math class, and someone had said that there was some sort of fire in New York City, so they turned on the TV, and that's what we saw.
I remember everybody thought, so I had the day off of work, and I was living in Tampa, Florida at the time, and I'm sitting there at home and I flipped on national coverage and I said, oh, there must have been, they said a small plane. People thought it was a small plane that hit the towers. And then I was watching live when the second one hit. And I'll never forget when, because President Bush at that time was in our viewing area in Tampa where I lived, and he was at an elementary school that was local. And when they took that live, I thought, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
It's not what people thought.
I remember I was living in Germany at the time in elementary school, and my dad had worked at the Pentagon the year prior, and we had a lot of family friends that actually worked there, and it was like a couple days before we heard anything if they were okay. So I just remember it was a scary time and being kind of young and my parents having to explain to me what exactly was going on.
It's just remarkable that it's been 20 years.
True.
Well, there are some local events to mark 9/11 on Saturday. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office is hosting a motorcycle ride to benefit the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. The ride starts in the District 2 parking lot in McLeansville at 11 a.m.
In Greensboro, the city's annual stair climb is back after it was canceled last year due to COVID-19. It starts Saturday at 9 a.m. and the Bellamy parking deck on Green Street. Participants will climb the stairs 9 times, 73 flights in total, which is how far firefighters reached inside the Twin Towers.
Business.
1, 2, 3, 4. Who do you adore? 5, 6, 7, 8. The 4 to 5 will be
1, 2, 3. Lauren's throwing it down. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Check it before you wreck it.
Hello, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia.
Hey guys, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together. Like a classic combination.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. It is the Tuesday after Labor Day. That means everybody back at it today.
Absolutely. I'm Chad Silver here with Eric Chilton, Lauren Coleman. We got a lot coming up. We're going to be talking about Panthers. We're going to be talking about the Grand Ole Opry. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
Lots of fun
and
stuff.
A forecast.
And the forecast.
Yes.
Lots of great things to talk about. Remember, we are on Facebook, so make sure you join us so you can chat with us in the live stream. But we do want to get back to a major story. For the first time in nearly a week, Mount Tabor High School students and staff went back to class. The return comes 6 days after a deadly shooting claimed the life of a classmate, 15-year-old William Miller Jr.
Police say another student is responsible for that killing. It's been really a tough week for the Tabor family. As students went back today, police were there sending a message the school is safe.
We understand the emotions. I have kids in the public school system. I have a son in high school, and we're going to ensure them that we're going to put all of our resources on the table to ensure that their children are safe, to ensure that they continue to pursue their education and ease some of that burden. And as the governor said, we're going to double down on our resources.
All high schools in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District had extra police officers and county deputies on hand today. Sheriff Kimbrough says he hopes to continue to do this as long as the resources are available. Law enforcement says they are investigating several threats of potential violence at Triad schools. At this point, it's important to know there are no confirmed threats. Winston-Salem police posted this message on social media saying, quote, "We are aware of info circulating regarding potential acts of violence at Parkland and Walkertown high schools. Investigators are monitoring the situation, and there's a large law enforcement presence at every school." A similar message was posted by the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. Again, there are no confirmed threats at any Triad school right now, but officials say anyone who sees or hears anything can send an anonymous text to this number, 336-920-8477. Experts say there is something everyone can do to keep students safe. If you see something, say something. Reporting it, anything that looks strange, could be a threat, is the most important thing to do. Officials say leave it to them to investigate. Don't spread it on social media. Of course, we will continue following the Mount Tabor shooting investigation story and bring you the latest updates both on air and online.
Triad hospitals are sounding the alarm as the number of coronavirus patients is overwhelming some facilities. Cone, Navant, and Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist came together with an urgent plea today. Get vaccinated because hospitals are filling with unvaccinated patients.
Our healthcare teammates have worked incredibly hard for the last 18 months, and they continue to show up, and they are so committed to the well-being, of our community. And I think it gets a little bit challenging and a little bit frustrating when they see advanced cases of COVID-19 in folks that were, thought that could be preventable through vaccinations.
At the state level, I'm tracking a leveling off of hospitalizations. Check it out. Today, we're sitting at just below 3,800 patients. It's 84 more than yesterday, but below Friday and Saturday's numbers. It's easy to see our numbers have stayed pretty steady over about the last 2 weeks. It's an improvement from the steady climb that we saw in the weeks before that. These numbers are just about 200 shy of our all-time record we set back in January.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Davidson County schools are still dealing with hundreds of students learning at home. The district updated its COVID-19 numbers today. 360 students tested positive in the last week, and 651 are quarantined due to exposure. The number of students learning at home did drop, but the number of positive cases among students did go up. The district voted to require mask wearing for at least a month after starting the school year with a mask optional policy. First Lady Jill Biden returned to the classroom today. She teaches English and writing at Northern Virginia Community College. The First Lady taught virtually at the school last year because of the pandemic. She's worked at the school since 2009 when her husband became vice president. Biden is the first First Lady to work full-time outside of the White House. And tomorrow there is another big opportunity to land a new job in the Triad. Goodwill and NC Works are hosting a career fair tomorrow at the LJVM Coliseum parking lot in Winston-Salem. More than 20 employers are going. The event runs from 9 to noon. Attendees don't need to pre-register. They should wear masks and be prepared to social distance.
Beautiful forecast continues for us. The only fly in the ointment would be tomorrow afternoon. That's when we're watching for a couple of thunderstorms to move through. Some of those could be severe in nature. It's a cold front that's moving by, and We'll get to that in a second. Right now, 83 degrees in the Triad, 88 in Raleigh. We have 78 in Wilmington. They had a couple of showers down there. And then at 88 degrees as you head toward Charleston and Hilton Head area too. So hour by hour tonight, we'll drop into the 70s. We think that'll happen by about 8 p.m. We'll be in that 77-degree range, and then going to the lower 70s as we head into the rest of the night and toward tomorrow morning. Not bad. We'll say partly cloudy skies. As far as the radar is concerned, we're not seeing much in the way of rain, and you have to look all the way to the north. Now, that is the cold front, or part of it, that will affect us tomorrow afternoon. Look at it on this Futurecast map. And then as far as that front going through is concerned, we'll see that approach the area by tomorrow afternoon. That's when we get the rain and thunderstorms. Then the actual front will clear us, and the high pressure after that is going to clear things out for us. So really, Friday, Saturday, most of Sunday looks absolutely perfect. If we look at our 7-day forecast, you can see those highs in the mid-80s for Wednesday, 60% chance of showers. Then we've got that 20% chance for Thursday. Not a big deal there. Then clearing out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. How about that Monday and Tuesday? That entire stretch, you're looking at sunny to partly cloudy skies, low to mid-80s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and upper 80s by Monday and Tuesday.
What story is your house telling? Curb appeal. It's one thing. Folks can see your yard is mowed, maybe that you have a green thumb. But what I'm talking about are the colors that you choose to paint the walls inside the house, especially if you're thinking about maybe one day selling the house. So do you have splashes of color in your house?
Well, I live in an apartment, so I have like off-white walls, but my parents, they do have a couple splashes of colors in the bathrooms and some accented walls throughout the house.
Okay.
I've been all pretty bland colors, just normal, just in general. Everything is kind of bland.
So we stayed with what the house was built before we moved in, and so it's just kind of, it's like if you think of really, really, really light coffee, kind of like off-white but not a beige, somewhere in that neck of the woods, that's pretty much every wall in our house.
Okay, so most of my house is that neutral cafe au lait kind of thing, but my kitchen is, wait for it, it's red, barn red.
Boom.
Now, I like it, but I'm the one living there, right? But the experts say it probably should not be red.
White scored the highest when painted in the kitchen, and gray scored the highest when painted in the living room.
So Zillow's latest interior paint color analysis took a look at 15 colors to find out which made the biggest impact in the bedroom, the bathroom, the living room, and the kitchen. Now get this, when it comes to the bathroom, Zillow found homes with light blue bathrooms could sell for more than $4,698 than their original price. Wow.
When you go to the master bath, this is a fun room. This is just starting to get really popular. So the master bath has a lot of water. You know, you've got the shower and the sinks, you've got the tub. Hopefully you have windows that can show you the beautiful blue skies. So you want baby blue.
Okay, so now my question is, how many of you have a blue-ish bathroom?
Well, I don't, but my parents do have a blue bathroom in the guest bedroom.
They do, okay.
Yeah.
Chilton, still neutral.
Yep,
Chad, you're still neutral.
Right.
Okay, so for once, I have what I call a Carolina blue bathroom,
Ooh.
okay?
Like the chandelier there, too.
Thank you, over the tub there. So Chilton, Carolina blue for you.
Yeah, thank you. I like that. I know that my wife is big, and this took me a while to get used to, but she's big on that light blue with browns.
Yes.
And that has taken me a while to.
So that's funny because my rugs in my bathroom are brown with that blue. They say if you want to go dramatic, you can do that in the bedroom. Like you can have an accent wall, like a bold color. Thought on that? Because I like a bedroom that's like chill.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've seen people that do like a bright blue and everything else.
Yes.
Is kind of, or whatever. And gray is big now. Which
I was gonna say gray.
Yeah.
You could switch out your bedspread with the gray.
All right, so Chad.
I have no opinion.
Do you do splashes of color in anything, Chad? Do you have like accent pillows?
So
what you got?
I have like so my big couch in my living room is like a dark gray.
Okay.
So I like that.
That's a good manly color. I like it. I like it. It's a good neutral color. You can like spruce it up with other things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not a very good interior decorator.
You even look sad when you said dark gray.
I know, like everything's like so bland.
It's just because it sounds so boring compared to all the other colors you all have.
Well, and I know it's interesting too because it's kind of like, do you paint it for what you want to live in there, or do you paint it for, gonna sell it someday? And I say you paint it for you, and then if you have to paint it to sell it someday, you just do that. But there's always colors, so there's that. All right,
I'm
we'll
gonna
see
paint
you.
the wall when I get home, I think.
Wax on. Up this way, right?
We'll be right back.
So in our last half hour, we met Trent Calicut, an Asheboro native who recently lived out the dream of playing at the Grand Ole Opry, but it wasn't just his dream. He shared this with his grandfather, and while the grandfather did not live to see the big day, Trent knew he was there when he took the stage. Here's his story. I understand, because I've talked to a few people that actually knew you, and they said you have to ask him about his grandfather's relationship with him. Tell me about that, because that's the beginning of your music, right?
Yeah, well, his name was A.J. Kendrick, and he was a Wesleyan pastor in Asheboro. And he played guitar, and he started when he was about, 6 or 7 years old. And we just, with music, that was our thing together that we did. He had, different things with each of my siblings that he kind of, would talk about or do. But for me and him, we spent so much time together. Once I started actually playing, he actually drove me to my first lesson. And so I would go around to the nursing homes and play with him and his band, the Good Time Band. It was something that I'll always cherish. And had he been living for this when I played, the Grand Ole Opry, it would have just, I don't know that he would have gotten over that. That would have been such a big deal for me to have gotten to do that, and for him to have been here to sing it.
Tell me about your banjo case, because I heard about this.
I got to the Opry dressing room a little bit earlier than everybody else because I was just kind of nervous. And so I got in there and had 2 or 3 pictures of myself and him in the lid of the case. So when you opened it up, that's what you saw. And it was just, I got back there and nobody else was there yet. And I kind of had a moment of reflection, and it felt like, he was there with me. And it was just really special.
Well, we're all proud of you. I'm sure he is too, and he's watching. So we're all proud of what you're doing, man. You're representing the Triad. Thanks for taking time to chat with me today.
I love that.
I do too, and I love the fact that he was willing to kind of open up and chat with us a little bit about this. He said his grandfather, that was the beginning of his music, and he said with my brothers and his sister, he said my grandparents had something with each of us that was special and individual, and he said for me and my grandfather it was music.
Wow.
And so and that's not his full-time, that's amazing that he's not a full-time musician, but he's played the Grand Ole Opry twice already.
And I bet having those pictures of his grandfather serves as motivation and kind of just a purpose just before every performance to look at those pictures and like, I'm doing this for you, Granddad. So.
And such a neat moment it must have been he said he got to the Grand Ole Opry early because he was nervous and opened up his banjo case and saw the pictures of his grandfather and really just allowed himself to reflect on, his journey to where he got and that his grandfather was there with him that day.
Absolutely. That was a settling moment, I think, for him because he said it just basically took his nerves away and he said, I got to do this for him. Or with him in that case, yeah.
It's going to be a matter of time before this is his full-time job, right?
That's what I think.
Yeah, he's great.
When you get called twice to play the Grand Ole Opry, you're doing something right, that's for sure. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Well, who's ready for some Panthers football? Only a few more days until the regular season kickoff.
Yeah, the people who run the social media page for the Panthers are having all kinds of fun with viral trends.
Yeah, check out what they posted this week. A fan tweeted, you could just tweet Panthers and you'll get thousands of likes. And the Panthers complied with this, sending out a tweet with just the word Panthers, and they got more than 5,000 likes. I don't get it.
Yeah, it might seem random, but it's actually not. A fan tweeted at Mark Hamill, the actor who famously portrayed Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Hamill also played along and got hundreds of thousands of likes.
Social media fun aside, the Panthers kick off the regular season at home this Sunday. They face the New York Jets at Bank of America Stadium, and you can catch the game right here on WFMY News 2, your home of the Carolina Panthers. That kickoff is at 1 p.m.
I am so ready. I'm so excited because, it's fun to watch preseason games and it's fun to see, the players out there again, but you can't really know what the team is like until you actually get to the regular season because so many of the players aren't even playing, and the ones who are playing are just trying to stay not injured.
That's true. That's true. They play at about maybe 50% when they do that. Yeah, I can't wait either. I love all football, whether it's college or, heck, for that matter, high school. I'd go to high school games. I love it, so I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to some of the viewing parties, socially distant small ones, of course.
That's right. But people now, the weather gets so good, this time they'll bring their TVs outside and do it on pad. That's what we do. We every year, this is pre-pandemic, we would bring TVs out and have everybody kind of hang out in the driveway and have a little driveway party.
Sounds like they can do that this weekend, Eric.
Would you like to come over, Chad?
Yes.
We can arrange that.
I will be there.
We'll make that happen.
I'm just going to invite myself.
Yeah, that's fine. You're always, you don't need an invite. She's 4 to 5 people. All right, let's talk about our forecast, and we'll show you a quick little look at the 7-day here. 85 tomorrow. Hey, watch tomorrow afternoon. Some of those storms could kick up a little dust, so we'll pay attention to that, and that will be kind of an afternoon situation pop up. Thunderstorms, some could be severe. Not should be, but could be. 85 tomorrow, drop to 81, and the humidity drops too on Thursday. Boy, is it nice. Friday and through your weekend, really. All sunshine, just a couple of clouds. 82 Friday, 84 Saturday, 86 Sunday. We'll warm to 87 for Monday, Tuesday, but still dry and with partly cloudy skies.
That sound means it is time to verify. Mother Nature nurtures so many questions about her force and unpredictability. Most recently, Ida pummeled Louisiana with Category 4 hurricane strength, leaving catastrophic flooding and debris in her wake. As is typical of any storm, some parts of the region along her track, including the Northeast now, bore worse impacts than others. And as it turns out, where you live in relation to the storm's center of circulation can make the difference between life or death, total loss, or minimal damage. This verified question came up last week as we heard meteorologists talk about the dirty side of Hurricane Ida. Is it true the dirty side of a hurricane is the right side and the most dangerous side? To verify, my sources are the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, known as NOAA, and WFMY News 2 meteorologist Ed Matthews, who conclude it's true.
If you look at the forward motion of the storm, you always look on the right-hand side, the right-hand semicircle, if you will, of the storm. That's where we're more likely to have severe weather and also the possibility of tornadoes spinning up as well.
NOAA further explains the right side references the storm's direction of movement in the northern hemisphere. If the storm is heading north, the right side is the east side of the storm. In the southern hemisphere, where the storms spin clockwise, it's the opposite. So this is a visual on NOAA's website. The left chart here shows a northern hemisphere hurricane moving north. The winds on the right side of the eye, the dirty side, are 100 miles per hour compared to winds on the left at 80 miles per hour. That means cities and towns on the dirty side are more at risk of serious damage or worse. In conclusion, we verified, yes, it's true, the dirty side of a hurricane is the right side and most dangerous side of a tropical system in the northern hemisphere, at least. That's why you always want to heed the evacuation warnings if you're in the storm's path. And remember, hurricane season runs through November 30th, and this month of September is typically the most active. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
The Randolph County Sheriff's Office unveiled 2 patrol cars with decals etched with Sandy's name.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Kevin's trying to mess me.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah.
Hi there, hundreds are hurt every year in deck collapses. 1 2 3, the easy way to check for possible danger.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 1 2 3. Brett, how was the game? Did your team win?
No, they lost.
Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry.
Ten 9-876-54321. 10 9-876-54321.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16.
It's time for my 2 cents. Growing up, I always look forward to summer, not just because school was out, but because summers meant spending time with my grandmas and granddaddy. As an Army brat, we moved around a lot, so I only got to see my grandparents a few times out of the year. Once I graduated from college and started working across country as a journalist, the visits became less frequent, mostly just Christmas or Easter weekend. But through the years, I've discovered distance doesn't have to get in the way of spending quality time with the ones you love. Just a few days ago, I called my grandparents for the first time in a while. They'd been on my mind all week. I could hear in their voices how happy they were to hear from me. My grandparents always give me such great advice. They just have so much experience when it comes to work, relationships, and all facets of life. And after every phone call, my grandmother tells me to ask my grandfather to say a special prayer for me. They truly are amazing people. If it's been a while since you've spoken to your grandparents or just someone you care about, give them a call. If the last year and a half has taught me anything, is that our time is precious, and we need to do our best to stay connected with those we love, no matter the distance. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
I mean, it is scary going back. I feel for the kids, I feel for the teachers. You know, when a book falls, they're going to jump. Like, you know, they're going to think it's something.
An emotional first day back for students and staff at Mount Tabor High School since a deadly school shooting.
15-year-old William